In this video, I want to break down why does my engagement suddenly drop. Sudden dips in engagement can feel extremely disencouraging, but they're not random. Usually, they're the result of changes in how platforms work, shift in audience behavior, or tweaks you need to make in your content strategy. But let me break it down for you. So number one, algorithm changes. Algorithms evolve constantly, whether it's on Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, they're all evolving. And what worked 3 months ago might not work today. So algorithm updates can definitely impact what content will be prioritized by the platform. So right now, Reels are getting more prioritized, they're getting boosted in visibility, while static images may struggle a bit more. Also, distribution rules. Sometimes platforms reduce reach to encourage users to use new features. Also, engagement signals. Saves and shares, they weigh more heavily than, let's say, likes. So posts without saves and shares might tank more even though you got likes on them. So here's my recommended action step for you. Stay updated on platform changes, any new rollouts. If Reels are being pushed out, then jump on the Reel chain and weave them into your content strategy. Definitely keep testing and don't rely on just one content type. Number two, content fatigue. Audiences definitely get bored if you're posting the same thing over and over again. Even if your design looks super great, repetition can just really repel someone and totally disconnect with your audience. So here's some example of content fatigue. Every post is a quote card, or every reel is using the same talking head style, or you're pretty much telling them the same thing in every caption without providing fresh new examples. Here's my action step for you. Audit your last 12 posts and look if you're overusing one format or one topic. So try mixing them up. Use carousel for educational content. Use reels to try out a trend or using some trending audio. Or use your stories on Instagram, for example, to show more the behind the scene content. Number three, weak or misaligned content. Sometimes the issue isn't frequency, but it's relevancy. Content that is overly promotional, very low quality, or way too generic won't resonate with your audience, so will not be pushed out by the algorithms, hence you don't get a lot of engagement on the post. So watch out for these signs, and if you find them, try to fix them. So posts that only focus on you, so the typical me content, and doesn't really align with your audience's problems. Your visuals or your hook is very weak and doesn't stop a user from scrolling. And then your captions are not skimmable, and you're missing a call to action. So here's my recommended action step for you. You want to run every post through these filters before you post them to avoid running into these potential issues. So you have to ask yourself, does this post educate, inspire, motivate, or entertain my audience? Is the quality, so visual and audio, professional enough to compete and cut through the noise online? Does my post, whether it's a reel or a static post, does it start with a hook and end with a clear call to action? If you can answer yes to all of these, then go back and refine your content. Number four, lack of interaction. Engagement is definitely a two-way street. If you're not responding to your direct messages, to your comments, the social media platforms will definitely notice that. So the algorithm almost interprets this as your account is less community oriented and therefore deprioritize your posts. So here's my recommended action step for you. Block out some time in your day. So whether it's 5 to 10 minutes after you posted or later in the day, just to quickly look at your post. And if you see any comments, if you see any direct messages, go ahead and reply to that person. I definitely recommend going beyond the thank you for commenting on my post and really encourage a conversation. So ask questions to really keep this conversation alive, because algorithms really focus on engagement. So they will reward your account or your post if you engage with the audience. But you can also interact with your followers' content as well. So again, engagement is a two-way street. Sometimes it's not your content and it's not you, but these are external factors that also play a role in your content slightly dipping, and it's not your fault. So some of those things could be seasonality, summer vacations or holiday distractions. They can lower down the engagement, or your audience shifts, so your followers' interests evolve, so your content might not resonate to them anymore. So don't panic after a 1 to 2 week dip. Look at 30 to 60 day averages before making any super huge changes. At the end of the day, engagement drops happen to everyone, even the biggest creators. So it's really important not to take it personal, but to really analyze what you're doing and to adapt. So you need to test formats, you need to understand platform changes, you need to refresh your content, you need to engage and interact with your audience online, and you definitely need to keep your audience's needs front and center. And then with the right tweaks, you'll turn that dip into a learning moment, and then you'll definitely come back stronger. So I hope that these few tips helped you to understand what you can do to get out of this decreased dip phase and back to an increase again. And if you have any questions, you can reach out to me at nina@thesocialwisdom.com. You know, I do this day in and day out. I've been in marketing for over a decade, and I would love to work with you, whether it's on your engagement, on your creative pieces, or if you need a more solid worked out marketing strategy, I can help with that as well. Yes, I'm so glad you tuned in today, and I cannot wait to see you next time. Until then, goodbye, or how we say in Germany, auf Wiedersehen.